Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Heather. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, elementary, middle, and high school. We are going into our 12th year homeschooling this year. If you are not subscribed, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you are notified of all of my future videos. Today, I am joining in on an open collaboration with Abby from Rooted in Rest and Jessica from the Waldock Way, and it is their homeschool show and tell series. I did participate in several of these last school year and it was a lot of fun, and I noticed that they posted a new one, so I wanted to join in. I will have a link to the playlist so you can see anyone else that participates in this collaboration in the description box. So let's get started. So this is a homeschool this or that, and it does say on this little sheet that I have to choose only one. And I did briefly go through some of these questions already, and I'm going to have a little bit of a hard time choosing one. Yes, the first one I'm not going to have a difficult time. It is coffee or tea, and if you have watched any of my videos or seen anything from me in the past 12 years that I have been sharing online, you will know that I love coffee. I did not start drinking coffee until well after college, which, you know, most people start in college. My husband started in high school. But yes, I start my morning with coffee every day. Just a little bit of half and half, no sweetener. I don't like sweet things in general. So yes, coffee. The next one is early bird or night owl. And this is kind of difficult because I do wake up extremely early on my own. I don't really set an alarm. So that took a lot of training on my part over many, many years to get into that habit of waking up early. And I did that because my kids were all early birds. I don't actually like to talk to people in the morning, which is another reason that I get up so early, so that I can just drink my coffee and have my alone time. Yes, there's a little meme, I don't know if you've seen it, that says something like, I just need like 12 hours of quiet time in the morning before I can talk to people, and that's kind of how I feel. But I am also a bit of a night owl when I am reading. If I am in a good book, I will read until 2 o'clock in the morning. And I still wake up super early the next day because my body is trained to wake up super early. But I think I will choose early bird for this option. The next is paper planning or digital planning. And if you have seen any of my content, you will know that I am a paper planner. I started using an Erin Condren planner in 2014, I think it was. And I had always used paper planners. Oh, growing up, that was the only option. So maybe that's partially why I am drawn to paper planning. But I started using an Erin Condren Life Planner in 2014. And then in 2015, started using their teacher planner for my homeschool planning. I love it. It is so functional for me. And yes, it works really well. I do have a whole playlist if you are interested in my 2022-2023 homeschool planning series. I also have all kinds of videos about planning, my planning days, all of that stuff. There's a lot of content there. But paper planning, it helps me get the thoughts out of my head, and I know that it's written down. And because I do write it in a few different places, it seems to make it stick in my mind more, which is helpful. When I tried digital planning, I would forget to put things in the computer. I would forget to set up an alert or whatever it was. I tried doing that in like 2012, 2013, because I was really needing some sort of planning system. My husband does not like any sort of paper. He only wants digital stuff. But for me, it just didn't work and things were falling through the cracks. So paper planning it is. The next is plan ahead or plan from behind. And again, it's hard for me to choose one. And the reason is because I do a lot of planning ahead of time. Like I just mentioned, for paper planning, I do have a planning playlist for this entire homeschool year. So I do a lot of prep work up front. However, throughout our year, we do also do a lot of interest-led or project-based learning, unschooly type things in addition to what I plan, and I do want to give my kids credit for that. So I do make notes of those things as we are going through our year because I never think of everything. So even though you can only choose one, I'm going to say both because I plan out our curriculum for the year, but then I also leave a fair amount of margin so that we can explore interests and deep dive on topics that I had not thought about as I was doing my planning. And I do want to give my kids credit for that. There might be more than one of these that I cheat on. I'm a rebel. I can't help it. I can't follow the rules. One homeschool method or eclectic. I would say eclectic. We are mainly literature-based homeschoolers. We love Sunlight homeschool curriculum. I love reading to my kids. My kids love reading. My kids love listening to books. So that has worked really well for us, but we do a lot of interest-led. I do a lot of seasonal shifts in our learning. In the winter, when it's cold and dark in Maine, we do a lot more book work because we don't want to be outside unless there's a good amount of snow and we're sledding. So I'm going with eclectic on that one. Homeschool hoarder or minimalist. I think that I am a hoarder of all things books. These are just our school books for this year. I have a video going through all of my homeschool books and organizing those. I'll leave that in the description box too. Yes, but we don't use manipulatives. I don't have a lot of other things. It is mainly books. So I don't know if that can be homeschool hoarder or minimalist. I'm probably going to say hoarder because we have like 1,000 books that are just homeschool related. Yes. Crayons or markers. I'm going to say markers for me. It would be crayons for my kids. They actually love anything that they can draw with, so they probably wouldn't be able to choose, but I'm going to choose markers. Whiteboard or chalkboard, neither. I definitely don't like a chalkboard at all. And I've never felt the need for a whiteboard. Personal preference, I don't know, it's just not a thing that we have ever used. We do use a lot of paper. We have a lot of paper in our house, and maybe we would do better to have a whiteboard, but my kids, I don't know. We do draw on the windows sometimes with the dry erase or wet erase markers, but for the most part, neither. Games or puzzles, we have a lot of both in our home, but I'm going to say puzzles because we do a lot of puzzles in the winter. Jack and I really enjoy puzzles. Emma enjoys puzzles. Actually, we all like puzzles, and we like card games. Yeah, more strategy type games. But I think I will say puzzles. Screens or no screens. We are definitely a screens house. When Emma and Jack were really little, we were no screens, except for occasionally PBS Kids. But as my older two have gotten older, they do a lot on the computer, animation, video editing, photo editing, drawing, and all of the artistic types of things they really enjoy. Jack loves computer coding and likes making his own video games. He also loves to make Let's Play videos on his little YouTube channel with his friends. So there's a lot of screens. I wish sometimes it was less. And then we do have math on the computer as well, teaching textbooks. And Emma is taking Spanish 2, which is a computer-based course, online course. And we use a lot of Skillshare as well. That is something that we just subscribed to this year for the first time, and Emma especially is really enjoying a lot of their animation courses as well as songwriting courses. So yes, all the screens. Pajamas all day or get dressed. We are pajamas all day. Unless we're going somewhere. My kids like to be comfy. I like to be comfy. I mean, I do change out of my pajamas, but it's into comfy clothes, my comfy day clothes, pajamas. Read aloud or independent reading. We do a lot of both. So I think read aloud would be my choice, because I do spend a lot of time reading aloud to my kids. I still read to my high schooler. I think it's important, and it's also a time that we enjoy together. I actually, pretty much all of the books that I read aloud to everybody. Lucy is 7 and in 2nd grade, and so she often will just get up and leave, which is totally fine. Emma and Jack are really good to just sit and draw while I am reading to them. But we also do a ton of independent reading. So, but I will say read aloud. Classic or modern literature? I'm going to say classic on this one. I personally read a lot of modern literature now, but I have read all of the classics. Emma is doing classical literature for her English course for high school this year, and it has been a lot of fun to see her enjoy some of the books that I enjoy. Right now she's reading Till We Have Faces, by C.S. Lewis, and she's enjoying that. It's a Greek myth retelling of Cupid and Psyche. So lots of classic literature in our homes. She loves Jane Austen, and so do I. So classic literature. Science or history? That is going to be history. I do really enjoy science, and I did advanced sciences in high school and really excelled at those things, but I'm not huge on experiments. And so history, I really love. I was a history minor in college, and that is so much fun for me. I really enjoy historical books, which works out well because Sunlight is a history literature based curriculum, I would say. Art or music? Again, it is going to be music. I love music. It is a passion of mine. I love to sing. I love to play instruments. I don't play a lot of instruments anymore as much as I used to when I was younger, but piano, guitar, saxophone. I spent many years in jazz band, and now Emma is kind of following in my footsteps, and she loves music as well. Actually, all of my kids love music. Nature study or poetry tea time? You know, we don't do either of these regularly in our home. We do them once in a while, especially when my kids are little. We do a lot of nature stuff. But I'm kind of gonna go with neither. I don't know. We do poetry tea time occasionally. We do have poetry books that we get through Sunlight and Brave Writer. The Brave Writer lifestyle is a big part of our homeschool, and they have a heavy emphasis on poetry, but I am not a huge fan of poetry. So I will say nature study, even though we don't do it all that often. Yeah. Okay, some of these are challenging. Some I have both answers and some I have neither. Lunch with your kids or lunch alone? I tend to eat lunch at odd times. I eat at odd times, but then I do a lot of reading aloud when my kids are eating. I started doing this when Emma and Jack were really little because I noticed when their mouths are full, they are not talking or interrupting as much when I'm trying to read. Now we have a lot of discussion while I'm reading. We've always done a lot of discussion while I'm reading aloud. It is a lot more now with some of the subjects that we are studying together. School at the table or school all over the house? It is school all over the house. I do set stuff out on our dining room table, and then the kids kind of take things and go. Sometimes they will sit at the table if they are writing something. Emma and Jack tend to type most of their stuff now. Lucy will sit at the table to do some of her handwriting, not by choice. I do actually make her sit at the table because obviously when you're sitting at the table, it's a little bit easier to write and you have neater handwriting. So that is that. take summers off or school year round. We are year-round homeschoolers, but like I said, we kind of have seasonal rhythms. We finish up most of our curriculum for the year, usually in April, the beginning to end of April. It depends on the year. And then we move into interest-based learning through May and June, and then we usually start our new curriculum in mid-July. We do take time off, and but it's just random, and the time that we are spending homeschooling during the summer is not a 6 or 8 hour day. So it's a couple of hours, and it's mainly to keep my kids busy and just to keep making progress. They do better that way. So schooling year round. Mummify a chicken or dissect a frog. I'm going with neither, and these are disgusting because that is not something I want to do. I did dissect a frog in science in high school, and Emma has to dissect one this year for biology. It's sitting downstairs in our homeschool space in my basement in a box with all the other things she has to dissect this year. I'm not looking forward to it. I might call one of my science friends to have her come over and do that. Yeah, so that is a big no on either of those. But if I did have to choose one, I would choose the dissecting a frog because I have done it before. I don't know what mummify a chicken is, and frankly, I don't even want to Google that because that is a little scary, and we have chickens at our house right now, so I think it might be traumatizing. But okay, so that was the last question. I hope that you enjoyed this little get to know me video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.